Hi, this is Mark Jansen from Epica. You're listening to Metal Wani.
Mr. Mark Jansen, how are you doing?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm doing great. Glad to have you with us today.
Cool.
So, it's almost time for the new album. It's released today and it's going to release in other countries in a week. And
yes.
You guys have also provided the long list of tour dates. So,
yeah.
How's Epica doing, among all these situations?
First of all, we are very, very, very happy that now today the album is finally out, because we worked very hard on it for the last half year. There was constantly working on it, and like the recordings, the working on the artwork.
Right.
Now finally the release, and now we can focus on the shows,
right.
The festivals that are going to come up, the tours that are going to come up. So now we can finally get to see the results of all the work. So that this is the best moment for a band. You can talk to them.
Absolutely. I was listening to the album all this while, and then all I can say is it's a next step in the evolution of Epica.
Yeah, I agree, and that's also exactly what we were hoping for to achieve.
It was more like Retrospect was. I kind of felt that till Retrospect was like the first half of Epica's career. And now, post Retrospect with the Quantum Enigma, I think the second half of Epica's career has started.
That could be true, but maybe after 10 years now, we still want to do a third chapter. So I hope that maybe even longer than we are on the half. Maybe we can still go on for 20 years. Who knows? But I agree with you that the Retrospect was looking back on the first 10 years. To finish a chapter, and now we thought we want to refresh ourselves. We want to do something new, some new influences, new people to work with, and be ready for the next 10 years.
Right. And before going to the studio, what were your thoughts, about the album?
First, we wrote songs on our own. And this time, it was basically everybody writing songs, like Isaac, Rob, the new bass player. Arjen even wrote 3 songs, Koen wrote a song, and I wrote some songs. And so when we had all these songs finished, we started working on them together. Like we started rehearsing them, jamming with the songs, trying to improve some parts, trying to also work on the details to make the guitar, drums, and bass fit better together.
True.
And this was a part that we took now a lot of time for. In the past, we sometimes skipped this not totally this step, but we saved some time on it. But this time we wanted to really make the details better than ever before. So it took us like 2 months. This part of working on the album, and then when the songs we had the feeling it was done. Right. Then we started working in the studio on the sounds, and that was also something that we in the past we sometimes didn't work on for so long. We thought we recorded, and then in the mix we see what fits the best way. Right. But now before we started recording, we already looked for which snare fits best with the guitar sound, which guitar sounds fit best with what bass sound. And so that also took like about 1.5 weeks, and then we finally started recording.
Oh, that's awesome. Epica is also known to push boundaries, reinventing their distinctive style. Now that was evident in your previous album, Requiem for the Indifferent, which actually raised the bar in terms of the overall songwriting. How do you keep track of exploring new horizons when you write a new material?
Yeah, we always try to find out the wheel again, so to say. So because we don't want to repeat ourselves, and if it would start getting boring, then we would not feel the need of being in Epica anymore. So as long as we really have the feeling we can contribute something to the music scene, to the metal scene in general, as long as we have that feeling, and I hope we still feel it for a very long time, as long as we feel that, we keep on going, and we try to keep making the best possible album. And of course the ultimate goal is making the perfect album.
Absolutely.
But maybe perfection is not even possible. Who knows?
Right. I understand that, and there's it's something great about the album is I felt that the songs are kind of well connected. They have some sort of a theme and that sort of an environment which there's a chain going on in the album. Was that the intention, or it just came naturally?
Yeah, it started naturally because we don't think too much when we start working on music. We just want to make an album that is not the same as the previous. So that's the only rule we have when we start working on an album.
Right.
But when we had the first lyric came up, and it was about the Quantum Enigma already, and then we had also very fast the Bible fix, and then we started writing all the other lyrics with that theme in mind. So even though all the lyrics have some different topics, it's all still related to the bigger topic, the Quantum Enigma.
True.
And so that's why there's this red line over the album, and also why all the songs are connected to each other.
Right, agree with that. And is there a story related to the album, or it's just a free-flowing concept?
No, the story what it's dealing about is that in the quantum physics there is this big discovery that when you observe something, you influence what you observe. So you never know exactly how the thing around you, the particles, for example, how they behave when you do not observe them. And if you take it into the world as we know it, then as we are made out of all these little particles, you can ask yourself the question, how would the world look like if we would not be observing the world? Would it be there? Would it be there? Is it an illusion created by our mind, or is it really out there? Yeah, that's very, very interesting questions to ask yourself. And we notice also that many fans are very fascinated by this subject.
Absolutely true. Now, Simone Simmons recently had a baby, and every musician in the band has a personal life apart from being part of Epica. How do you guys manage your time and live the life of a successful musician touring around the world?
Yeah, it can be hard sometimes, but it's a challenge. So we don't see it as a negative thing, but we see it as a challenge to make it work. And it's like what Simone, she says, it's her job. Because sometimes people say, but you should be at home all the time to take care of your kid. She said, no, everybody has also the right to do the job. And her husband can also take care of the kids sometimes, and he's also a musician. So we always try to make it sort of like a puzzle, that when she is touring, he's at home, and when he's touring, she's at home, and sometimes also some parents can step in. And like this, it's possible to combine two beautiful things, the band and having children, and same as goes for Koen.
I agree.
He has already 2 kids. Yeah. So,
I completely agree.
We don't want to give it up. We are so happy with living our dream and being musicians traveling the world.
Absolutely.
So we really enjoy that we can combine it.
That's awesome. Now, you are the backbone of the band. You are the founding member of the band. How do you feel about the band today? It's been a 10-year-long journey. How does it feel?
It feels great, because for me it was also I had to learn also with trial and error. Before this band I was in After Forever, and I learned a lot from being in a band, because you had to deal with many different personalities. And so I made my mistakes, other people made their mistakes, and I learned a lot from that. So I knew what I should not do and do in Epica in order to make it work for a longer time. Because when you are with a group of people, you have to be it's like sometimes dancing on a tiny chord to keep the balance. And I think we managed very well in Epica, and that everybody's happy, everybody feels important in the band. So I made sure I would never become a guy, a dictator kind of guy who tells everybody what to do. Everybody is very important, and everybody has also the responsibility of all the tasks what he or she has in the band. And we always discuss also every now and then to see if everybody's happy with their role and what they would like to see different. And like this, when you keep on communicating, I think that's the only way to keep a band alive after so many years.
Mutual understanding is important.
Exactly.
Wonderful. And let me put the question this way: if you were a third person, or let's say if you were not a member of the band like Epica, how do you see Epica?
I would be, I think, wondering what this band was doing to be still around after so many years.
Right.
So if I wasn't in the band myself, I would start maybe observing it, why, and see why the band is successful.
Right. That's how it feels on this side of the world.
Yeah, but that's what I always do. I always observe and see what other bands do and why they are still there, because there's not many bands who exist after many years, and you can learn a lot also by seeing what good things other bands do, but also what mistakes other bands make.
Absolutely. Now you've known Simone for a long time, and we all know that death metal more or less is kind of dominated by men. And at the same time, when we see a decade-long journey of Simone Simmons, as one of the best, metal vocalists around, where does the inspiration and motivation, come to do such a brilliant job, considering the less number of women in metal?
In the past there was not much room for women in metal, but then since it started already maybe even with Doro, but later on with bands like The Gathering, Annika van Giersbergen, with Implantation, some Norwegian bands, and we would After Forever, that was also in that time.
Right.
We started with a female vocalist, and then there became a lot of more room for it, and people are nowadays way more open-minded, and also to see that some styles do really fit. Of course, some other people still always will keep close-minded. There's always a group also that say it's not possible. The metal should only be one guitar or two guitars, bass, drums, and a grunt. But for us, there's so much more, and there's so many styles we can use in Epica, and that gives us so much freedom. We would never like to be restricted by the opinion of other people. Unfortunately, there's more and more people are so open-minded to give us also that freedom.
Right, that's what shines out. I mean, the wide spectrum of Epica is what shines out from each and every album.
I'm happy that you say that.
Well, that's really great. Now, something, in this journey of last 10 years, what does the world look like through Epica's eyes? I mean, if you had to change something from your journey, what would it be?
But it's a utopia probably, but I would like to see more freedom for each individual in the world. Because what I learned by traveling is that there is often an apparent freedom, but in fact people are still controlled. And when I compare people to the animal world, there's also some animals are really need also to be controlled.
Right, I understand.
You can ask yourself the question: what's the best for the people to have total freedom or total control? And then I think both is not good. It should be somewhere in the middle, but then in a good way, because people need some sort of
freedom.
Yeah, many people need a leader to tell what to do.
Right.
And to make things happen in a good way, but all people do not need a total leader who tells everybody exactly what to do with no freedom.
Right.
So I think the best solution can be found in the middle, and still that middle point is often not achieved in many parts of the world yet. And I think that there's still a lot of work to do to raise the
awareness,
the way of living for people. Yeah.
Right. I understand that. Wonderful. Mark, I'd end the interview on a very, very short note. If I would have to ask Mark Jansen to define Quantum Enigma in just one sentence.
It's a mature album where Epica found the balance, the balance between the elements and the perfect, refreshing start for the future.
Wonderful. Now that's what I was expecting, and you nailed it.
Cool.
Thanks.
I had to look for the words, but then I found them.
Wonderful. Now, I don't know when Epica is going to see you here in India, but I'm sure that once one of the organizers from India called Bangalore Open Air had, had a request of Epica coming over to India, but I think it didn't work out. So I'm just hopeful that in future we get to see you.
Yeah, because I remember that, and we really wanted to come, but there was something happened, or it didn't fit the schedule in the end. Something happened indeed, but hopefully we get as soon as possible the chance to come over, because I heard great stories about the Indian market, and with great fans and a fantastic atmosphere at shows. So I would love to experience that myself too.
That's wonderful, Mark. Thank you so much for sparing your precious time. Wish you all the best for Quantum Enigma. I'm sure it's gonna reach different charts, and for your upcoming tour as well. All the very best.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the interview.
No problem, brother.